Welcome to the Handmade Entrepreneur Life. I'm your host, Katherine Hampton. Together we are journeying through life as handmade entrepreneurs. I started my journey in 2013 and have successfully built a business that generates multiple six figures year after year. My goal is to share strategies and techniques that I have learned so that you can skip the stress and jump straight to success. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to the Handmade Entrepreneur Life. I'm so glad you're here. This week we're going to be talking about the welcome series for your email list. So grab a piece of paper and a pen because we've got a lot of good information coming your way today. If you've been running a business for more than 5 minutes, I am sure that someone has told you that you need an email list. Now, if I could go back in time, I would have started building my email list the very second that I opened my handmade business in 2013. But unfortunately, I had no idea how to start an email list or what to even do with one. So it was probably closer to 2016 before I started my list. Now, I could kick myself for missing almost 3 years worth of customers signing up for my list and missing out on that time of growing my list. But we all live and learn, and hopefully I can help you not miss out on such a huge time gap like I did. Now, I know that email lists can be intimidating, but when they're done correctly, they really are a great way to generate sales and revenue for your business. There are a lot of components that go into a well-run email list, but the good thing about that is that most of it is automated. So once you've done it and you've set it up properly or the way that you want it to look for your customers, it's pretty much a set it and forget it. And then you can kind of tweak it as you go. So it's not something that you just have to keep doing over and over again. It's an automated part of your business, and I am all about automation. So I actually even said to my husband this week that I want my business to be so automated by this time in 2020 that I can change my name to Alexa. And he thinks I'm joking, but I'm really going to be working on making things more streamlined and automated so that my business can run more without me. And as I work on those things, I'm going to be sharing those tips with you. So as I learn those strategies and implement those strategies, we'll be talking about them. So I hope that you'll benefit from those as well. But anyway, back to the main topic. Today we're just going to focus on one piece of the email list automation, which is the welcome series. And I want to talk about what it is, why it's important, and what you want to include in it. So just in case you are new to the business world, let's discuss really quickly the importance of having an email list. An email list gives you access to customers who have said that they want to hear from you about your products. They are giving you a key to their inbox, and they're giving you permission to advertise to them. So let's think about this a little bit. Say you're paying for advertising on Etsy. When you do that, you're paying for your items to be seen at the top of the search. So when they search for an item that's relevant to what you sell, you bid on it, and that hopefully will boost your product to be at the top of the search page. Some customers are going to be interested, some won't. Some are just browsing and could potentially waste your ad spend. Now, paid advertisements can be really good for your business, and it's a way to have new customers interact with your brand. But with your email list, you are advertising to customers that you know for sure are interested in your product, they like your product, and they know who you are. So it's not just wasting money or potentially wasting money. You've already weeded out the people who just happen to see you at the top of the page and may or may not like your shop. These are the people that have already said to you, hey, let's be friends. I want you to advertise to me. So don't feel awkward about emailing them. They have specifically said to you, email me. So take advantage of that. Now, don't take advantage of that in like this scammy, spammy way. We want to be respectful about it, but don't feel awkward about it or like you're being salesy. They've given you permission to do that. Now, the email list it's also a way to communicate with your customers directly without interference from other platforms like Etsy, Amazon, or Facebook, where they're also adding their advertisements in with yours. I don't know if you've noticed on Etsy specifically or Amazon, when you're promoting or if somebody's on your page, they're going to be advertising other people's stuff too. When they say you may also like these items, those aren't always necessarily going to be your items too. In your email that you send to your customers, it's specifically going to be your items that you're showing the customers when they open the email. So you're blocking out all of that extra noise. And depending on how many people are on your list, it can be a free advertising platform for you. Eventually, hopefully, you'll grow your list to be large enough that you will need to pay. That's kind of a catch-22, that you want it to be free. You're happy that it's free, but once you grow to a certain number of people on your list, you do have to pay for it, which is a good sign because you've grown a big list. So you want to eventually get that big. But the very most important thing about it is that you have this list, you are in control of it. And the more parts of your business that you're in control over, the better. So, for instance, like just today, I sent out an email for my shop's 4th of July sale, and within about 30-45 minutes, I had already sold, 2 customers had already checked out and purchased from me. Now, I haven't checked my sales since then, but I can generally expect that every time I send out an email or a newsletter, that I do get sales from it. So it's a goal to move towards, to build it, so then you kind of have control over your sales. You know, I send out an email, I can expect sales. My goal right now is that I send out an email about once a week. Now, some months it is every other week. And I know that people are thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do a sale every week. That's a common misconception. I don't do sales every week. I have one sale that I'll do on a specific category, or if it's a holiday, like this week is 4th of July, I'll do a site-wide sale, but only one of those emails a month is a sale. Otherwise, it'll be about a popular trend or featuring a specific item that's new. Or I'll say, hey, this has been super popular this month. You may want to check it out. Or if there is an upcoming holiday, I'll let them know the order deadlines. Things like that. Just so that the purpose of the email is to make sure that the customers remember my shop and keep them in the habit of interacting with my brand. So don't feel like everything has to be about a sale. In fact, I don't know about you, but I find it a bit exhausting to receive nothing but sales emails from places like Macy's or Target every day. I will unsubscribe from places like that. So I keep it to at the most, unless there's a big sale going on. So like for the 4th of July, I will send them, the sale is going to go from today, Wednesday, and through Sunday. So I'll send them daily then. But otherwise, it'll only be once a week. So don't feel like you have to send them every day. Don't feel like everything has to be about a sale. I'm sure that you're the same way. I don't want my customers to feel the way that I do about the big box stores that send messages every single day about a sale that says buy, buy, buy every single day. So don't feel pressured to do that. But we can talk about the content of your weekly emails in another episode. Let's nail down what we're going to do for our welcome series now that we've gotten that out of the way. So, just like with anything you implement in your business, you have to make sure that it's built on a solid foundation. If you just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks, it's not going to be as effective as if you implement it with a well thought out plan. So that's where the Welcome Series comes into play. When someone buys from a handmade shop, they're generally more interested in that personalized experience and that connection that they receive when they purchase from a small business owner versus the experience you get when you shop at a big box store. And hopefully you know what I mean by that. When you buy from a small business owner, it's much more of a connection with a person versus buying from a big corporation. So this Welcome Series helps to cultivate this experience, and it builds a relationship with your customers after they sign up for your list. So the Welcome Series helps the customer get to know you a little bit and feel more comfortable with you. You want them to think when they receive that email from you, you want them to think, oh, I like this person. I want to see what they have to say. You don't want them to just hit that delete button and never open your email. So before the Welcome Series even starts, the customer has to opt into your email list. In my shop, I have a picture of my listings that's just a graphic that has my shop logo and says, sign up and join the Royalty Club for 20% off. And I also include a sentence in my description, in the listing description, that says this, that has the same information. So if they don't see it in the photo, they'll see it in the listing. Now, my shop branding includes a crown, so the royalty piece makes sense for my customers. You can call whatever makes sense for you. I have found that calling it some sort of club or membership, like a VIP club, it's going to have a better sign-up rate than just straight up saying sign up for my email list. We all know that that's what we're signing up for, but everything comes down to marketing. Everything that you are doing in your shop, all of your branding, all of that, it comes down to marketing and the optics of joining a club or a membership. It's just going to sound better and people are going to be more likely to sign up. Now, you also don't have to do a percentage off if doing a freebie or an instant download or something like that works better for your shop. That's perfectly acceptable too. There just has to be some sort of benefit for them to join your list. Now, after the customer signed up, you're going to want the very first email that they receive to have the discount code. That they're looking for that instantly. So that's what they want right away. At this point, all the customer's worried about is the coupon code so they can check out. I typically put that code in a big bright font so they don't miss it, especially if there's someone who is just scanning and doesn't read the details. So I want them to be able to open that email and the code is just like screaming at them. This email, if you want, can also include a little small blip with your name and an email address, even though it is typically in that email that you send them, just to reiterate how to contact you if there's any issues with the code. This very first email is strictly just one of those, just the facts, ma'am, so they can check out and move on with what they were doing on your site. They're on a mission at this point, so they don't need any extra fluff here. Now, the relationship building is going to come a day later after they've signed up for your list. I use MailChimp for my email service, and I have the automation set up to send 2 more follow-up emails. The first email, it thanks them for joining. It gives them a discount code again, the same discount code, just in case they didn't get it, just in case there was an issue or they forgot about it or whatever. It just says it again. And then I share a few facts about myself and my business. This doesn't need to be anything super personal. Okay, so you don't want to be sharing anything about a brutal divorce or a family trauma. That's not appropriate. This needs to be lighthearted and fun. Just a few fun facts that shows your customer that you are a real human making handmade products. This is where they see that you are in fact a real person. So maybe include your hobbies, a favorite food, a quick story about how you got started with your business, or maybe a story behind your childhood nickname if it ties into what you're doing now. The main key is just you want it to be light, fun, and happy. So something that just keep it related to something that makes you relatable to your audience. It's also helpful if you can include maybe a selfie or a photo of you in your workspace, or even just your workspace. But just remember that the point is that you're trying to connect with your customers so that they know that you are real. Now, I know that a lot of us are introverts and we don't like our picture taken and we don't want to be in front of the camera. That's perfectly understandable, but just try to take one picture that you're most comfortable with and send it to your customers. They don't care. They're not judging you. They just want to see your eyeballs. So no sunglasses. Just let them be able to see you and connect with you. This is also going to be the email where you want to tell them how to follow you online so that they can see daily interactions with you on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you're posting your products, and let them know how often they can expect to hear from you. So that's the first email. That's going to go out 24 hours after they've signed up. Now, after you've sent that email, you're going to send another email 24 to 48 hours later. But this one, it's not going to be about you. It's going to be about the customer. You want to say something to the effect of, yesterday I told you a bit about myself, and what kind of friend would I be if I didn't ask about you? And then follow with, if there was one bow, notebook, painting, whatever it is that you make in my shop that you wish I would make, what would it look like? So you're wanting them to tell you, if there was one thing that I made in my shop, what would it look like? What color would it be? What texture would it be? You're wanting them to say, this is what I would really like you to make. And let them know that you read every email personally and you can't wait to hear back from them. You can word it so that it fits your brand, but the point is that you want it to encourage conversation with your customers so that they'll tell you what they want you to make. This is so you know that you're making products that are perfect for your audience. Now, this doesn't mean that you immediately have to make it. It doesn't mean that you ever have to make it. It just helps you to kind of start a running list of thoughts and ideas from your customers, and eventually you may start seeing patterns that will help to inspire future product lines. It also kind of helps to make you see if you're on the right track for building product lines for your customers, or if you're even advertising and promoting to the right customers. This also helps establish a trust with the customer that all they have to do is hit reply to your emails and they will be connected directly to you. Again, this reiterates that you are real, that you are a person, and that you're someone that they can reach out to. So when I first started my email list, I did not have a welcome series set up. Everyone went straight to the marketing wheel. My open rate was also less than 10%. The industry standard, when I looked it up for MailChimp, was for the retail industry, the open rate for emails is 20%. So at 10%, my customers were not engaged. No one cared about me. No one cared about my emails. They were not getting opened. They were using the discount code and then they were running and never to be seen again. So my customers were not engaged. Now that I have a welcome series, my open rates are around 40%, depending on the subject lines. That's a huge increase. So building those relationships makes a big difference. Now, my customers haven't said this to me, but I believe that by sending those emails up front, my customers don't see me as just another person trying to sell them something. They know who I am, and they know that there's a face that goes with the name, as well as a few fun facts that they can relate to the face and the name. So they get all of that through my welcome series, with the first email with the discount, the second email telling them about me, and then the third email asking them to tell me about themselves. So if you don't have an email list, the first thing that you have to do is start collecting emails, whether it's through MailChimp, Aweber, or whichever email service you find that works best for you. MailChimp is kind of restructured how they run things, so that's not necessarily where you have to go. That's just where I'm set up. Now, the second step is going to be to write your welcome series. I have given you all of the information in this episode to write it yourself. But if you're thinking, Catherine, I really am just not feeling like I can write this myself, or you don't want to write it yourself, I have the exact scripts that I use for my welcome series on my website at bit.ly/welcome-scripts. So it's bit.ly/welcome-scripts. It's the 3-part welcome series, and it's $14.99. You just fill it out one time, and then you use it over and over again for everyone that signs up on your list. The purchase is an immediate PDF download, so you can purchase, download, and get started right away, have it set up, and be done with it. So that's an option too, if you don't want to mess with having to go through and structure it yourself. But otherwise, like I said, I've given you all the information that I use for my automation series in this podcast as well. So, all right, friends, that is the welcome series that I use. And like I said, it's super important for helping your customers feel connected to you and your brand. And I've seen a huge increase in my open rate and purchase rate once I started using it. As always, if you have any questions about today's episode, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at the Handmade Entrepreneur Life. And if you found today's episode helpful, please take a screenshot of the podcast cover photo and share it on Instagram and Facebook so that we can help as many handmade entrepreneurs as possible. Thank you so much for listening today. I will talk to you next week. Bye. For an in-depth training on how to tin up your competition and provide value for your customers, check out CupcakeInsider.com. It's 100% free and hosted by my friend Renee Christie. No strings attached.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.